Luyanda, great to see you. Thank you so much for your time.
It's an absolute pleasure. I'm so glad to be here.
You know, this is one of my favorite shows ever. For people that know me, my families and friends, and
Yeah.
everyone's back. We are back. We are going back to Nevermore.
Yeah, we're back, bigger than ever, spookier than ever, gorier than ever, scarier than ever, sillier than ever. It's gonna be so much fun.
At some point, there's rumblings of a show coming back and your character's involvement for the new season. When did that
Yeah.
really start? Kind of starting for you specifically. When did you start to know more about what was going to happen with now Sheriff Santiago? But like, when did you officially get all that information?
So bizarrely, I think it was like February. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was the 19th of February because I had to go do something at the BFI. I think it was my partner's graduation from film school. And I got the information when I was sort of there watching the screeners. And yeah, it was just kind of wild. My agent just sent me an email saying, yeah, so you're back, season two's a go, and you're back in, and you've been promoted to series regular. And I
Yes,
was like, okay.
congratulations.
Like, ah! I was like, what does that mean? I kind of had no idea. And so then it's that kind of like sort of scramble and waiting game to get scripts because obviously they come out when they're approved. Like
Yeah.
you have no real control over that. So I wanted to get stuck in, but I was like, I just have to wait and be patient, and then I'll find out more. But it was really, really exciting. And then when I went in for my fitting, there was just like I loved my fitting. There was a little like I had to get a hat, and I was like, I'm Sheriff, aren't I? I'm like, yeah, pretty much. That was really, really exciting. It was such a beautiful time, and it came at a moment where I really needed it. You know what I mean? Like I was wanting something exciting, fresh, and new. I'd heard a whole bunch of no's before that the nature of this business.
Yeah.
Which it's just the way it is. And like I'm not upset about it. It's just how it goes. So to get this kind of yes in such a big way, I was like, oh my goodness, yes.
No, absolutely. And it's interesting too, because I know in this industry it's hard not to think about the scale of how big certain worlds are, right? You know what I mean? Wednesday, Nevermore, Netflix, worldwide. Is there anything you did to prepare yourself to maybe not think about the scale of how big this world is that you're entering for season two? Or do you think about it because it maybe pumps you up a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, to be completely transparent, I immediately called my therapist. I was like, I need sessions once a week again.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I went proactive about it. I was just like, there's no crisis. There's nothing fundamentally wrong in my life at the minute,
Yep.
but there's a big change coming. There's going to be
Yes.
a lot of pressure and stress on the horizon, and I struggle with anxiety. So
Mm.
I was just like preempting that. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, what are the tools that I'm going to need to be able to use that, like you say, as fuel rather than as something that completely paralyzes me with fear,
Yeah.
right? Like I need to figure out how am I going to use this to empower me on set to do the best job that I can be and do the world and the fans honor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like do a service, you know?
Creatives and storytellers, we're all fans of content as well. Like you are on Wednesday, but
Yeah.
also a fan of Wednesday. Like we're all fans of the show.
Yeah.
From that perspective, from a viewer perspective, this show has everything, right? There's so many kind of elements. Is there one element you like the most about this show from a viewer perspective?
From a viewer perspective, I love its quirkiness.
Yeah.
Actually, I love how it has its tongue firmly in its cheek. Yeah, it's scary. Yeah, it's high octane, and there's beautiful drama in it as well and pathos. But what I really enjoy about it is that there's always that little twinkle in the eye, a little tongue in the cheek, a little playfulness, which I think is so necessary. In when it comes to storytelling and media, I think it's so vital that to have a show that's so energizing because it allows it to be for everyone and to resonate with everyone as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. By the time this interview is out, the first four episodes, part one of season two, will be out.
Yeah.
Some cool scenes of Jenna Ortega in this.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about those scenes, those kind of banters? Again, quirkiness, right? There is that kind of quirkiness about the crime scene and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of wild because every day I used to have this for my character, I like to work with mantras for characters inside of my head. And my character for this one is Well, I can't actually use the actual language, but what the hell's going on this time? Like, is essentially what Santiago says in her head every time some fresh hell emerges for her in the sheriff's department. But I think working with Jenna was really, really exciting. She's so skilled, and I learned a lot from observing her. And then for Santiago, having to deal with Wednesday, I think does Santiago go the route that her predecessor went, which is pushing at her and pushing her away?
Yeah.
Or does she try to work with her?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, Wednesday, a minor, let's all remember, is going to get herself in some really dangerous situations.
I feel, what's really exciting about Santiago is I feel like Santiago and Enid Sinclair are on a list of few characters that like understand Wednesday Addams, if that makes sense a little bit. Isn't that interesting to think about?
Yeah, it is. I think if we want to like explore that, like I think that like Santiago and Wednesday both have the drive to get to the bottom of something. And to really get to the bottom of something, and also to protect the people around them that they care about.
Yeah.
So I think in that way, Santiago, maybe unlike her predecessor, kind of sees where Wednesday is coming from a little. And doesn't push so hard and is maybe trying to reach for some sort of alliance, like at least let's work together and make sure that no minors are harmed at this school for young people who are very gifted, very talented, very capable, but also still at school.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's interesting too, because getting back to, at some point you do get scripts, and these scripts become, for a lot of storytellers, like textbooks, right? Where you're researching these scripts, and that script to screen journey, Luyanda, is very interesting to me, because I love like hearing about what's on script and then seeing it kind of come to life on the big screen, right? So maybe you could speak specifically to the scenes with Jenna and that Santiago Wednesday Addams, but what was that script to screen like journey for you specifically, like reading it and seeing it come to life while you go film it, so to speak?
Oh, that script to real life journey. I think that on set journey, rather. Sorry. I think what was really exciting was to walk onto the set, these massive sound stages, and just really be immersed in all of these, what had originally just been ideas on a page, and really seeing the incredible artists who are in the production and design team, and the props people and the costume people, everybody who really works tirelessly to make these worlds so vivid, so that by the time that I get onto set, and I get onto set with Jenna, and I'm like trying to calm my nerves, do you know what I mean? Like by the time I get onto set, all I have to do is just be receptive to the moment and just do my job, right? Because it's every little detail has been taken care of for me to such a high artistic standard that you're just in it. I think it's really visceral. It's so wonderful to watch worlds come to life. You think like this just started on a page, and now this massive pyre is actually here, and it's been built, and it's real, and it's tangible. So there's a lot of love and creativity that goes into that, and that's just a testament to the wonderful artistic teams as well, who bring these worlds to life.
To add to what you said about being in it, right? You could speak specifically with your scenes, but what's the overall pace like with being on Wednesday on Netflix, in terms of like, are they consistently long days? Are some days quicker than other days? Like, what would you say about that?
I see. Oh, well, the days are long. The days are long and they're hard.
But consistently long?
That's what you wanted to know? Oh, the days are long. Like, the days are long. I kind of wanted to block that out a little bit. Not in a sort of a negative way, just because it's just so tiring.
But did the energy feel and the pace of the certain scenes with Santiago feel like consistent? Because some days might be like, okay, this is a big day, and then other days it's like, okay, we're getting coverage. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, they felt largely consistent. I would say. Except for like anything that really happened at night that included like a lot of moving parts, like a lot of action.
Yes.
Those would just take ages, but they were just like an absolute pleasure to work on, a complete joy. And also at the time, I was staying in an apartment in Dublin, and I had managed to fall down these really, really tight stairs, and I sprained both of my ankles and my right knee really badly. Like the paramedics had to like take me out of the firemen, and then 4 weeks later, I was back on set. So I was also like working through, and like Netflix were amazing. They really took care of me. It was no they didn't leave a single stone unturned in terms of taking care of me. But like I was also just working long hours, and then also having to manage like pain and discomfort. But that's just the drama student in me. It's always going to do that.
When those big scenes happen, I find it very interesting because the viewer sees, 4 or 5 minute scene with Santiago and Wednesday Addams, the next scene, but there's a chance that scene might have taken like the whole day or like 2 days. Do they feel like mini TV shows or mini movies when those scenes happen, or they feel like overall part of the project?
I feel like they feel like a day on set for me feels like I try to pace myself like a marathon, because I know that I have X amount of energy, like, and I've worked more on the stage, where some people like, Jenna or Emma have worked more predominantly on screen, right? So I have a different kind of energy pacing. So like those days can feel incredibly long to me. I mean, they're consistent and everybody works well together. Like Tim runs a tight ship, and the first ADs are excellent at running their ships as well. So like you would move through material particularly pretty quickly, but also people are taking time with the material to make it as great as possible. So you don't know how long a setup is going to take. Like it could be really quick and you're in and out, or we could be here on this particular setup for like hours. I mean, there was one shot with myself, Deputy Riken, and Bianca, where we like took that take of us moving forward together as one. I think it took us an hour at least to get something so small done right, because it really had to match up to the lens, and I needed to read, and Tim really wanted to get that so specific. So yeah, it all depends on like camera placement, what you're wanting to get done to the day, and how much coverage you've got to get through.
Yeah, absolutely. By the time this interview is out, Wednesday will be part 1 of season 2. We'll be streaming worldwide on Netflix, which is amazing. Luyanda, thank you so much for your time. So great chatting with you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for having me.
You're in. If people want to keep up with the date, there's an Instagram account, right? If they want to keep up to date with everything, is it just your name?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just my name, Luyanda Unati Lewis-Nyawo, just all one.
Awesome. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Luyanda and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.